Oh my gosh. Wait, let me get the music.
I know, I was like ready for the dum.
Oh, we made it.
Woo! Hello, Tea Talk Tribe. This is perseverance, tenacity, and resilience at its finest. We have been, actually, Candy and I have been on Zoom since 9:30, almost an hour.
Yeah.
Preparing and prepping for this Tuesday Tea Talk, and we're so excited to finally be live with you. We're about 30 minutes late, so thank you for those of you that will be jumping on with us now. Better late than never. And always, Candy and I love being transparent with you. Like, it doesn't matter how big you play, human moments are still human. It doesn't matter what level of the game you're playing in, technology still can be technology. And so what I would really love to, even before we dive in, take away from this that just occurred was getting resourceful. Like, we could have easily just been like, dang it always works, but it's not working today. Why is it loading? Why is it not going live? And just said, all right, guess we got to reschedule. But we literally were over here. Okay, no, let's go YouTube live. Okay, like any way so that we could fulfill on this commitment of being here with you today. So
Hey, I see you guys jumping on live. Welcome, welcome. Jessica, I see you. Scotty, I see you. Cheers. So to give you a little bit of a background, because Leslie kind of just jumped right in, like, this is a perfect example, but I want you guys to know what happened. Like, what actually happened was that Leslie and I were ready to get on, and we tried to start streaming to you guys, and it wasn't working. So then we were basically 30 minutes of just trying to figure it out, and we made it. We're here, and hello, I see the hearts going up. I love it. I think Betty just jumped. Was that Sierra? No, Betty just jumped on. Hello, Betty. Oh my gosh, so exciting. And so that's really what Leslie was saying about perseverance, and I just love that. That's one of the things we were talking about in terms of our tea topic. So before we dive into all that, we got some things to say. For those of you that are on live right now, you are in for a treat, because what is today? What are we doing today?
It's giveaway day. Giveaway day.
So we're doing a giveaway, you guys. Are y'all ready for this? I don't think they know. I don't think they're like fully ready for this giveaway.
They're not. And all I have to say is free tea. If that doesn't, like, and not just free tea, like free high quality
tea, like
some like stuff that you may need to prep you for the new year, to set desires, to set goals. What else we got in there?
There's a crystal in there.
There's some crystals, there's some smelly good stuff, all the goodies for you. So we want to announce the giveaway. And Candy, I can't really fully see everything that's on the screen. So for you that are dropping hearts, dropping comments, we see you. I know Candy will keep me posted. I also have my phone out over here so we can interact with you. So please know where you're watching from.
Comment below, you guys. Where are you watching from?
What you're sipping on. And we are so excited for this month. Is our first month being sponsored by Gotcha Tea. And this tea brand is, I've been loving connecting with this brand, not only because it's a female-led business like we shared, but just because of how this tea is sourced and the quality of it. I mean, it really is. I can already tell now when I'm drinking just kind of the box teas, even like the nicer brands, right, from the grocery store. And now that I'm drinking this really high quality, almost boutique tea, right? And I can totally see the difference. So I'm loving Gotcha Tea, and we are so happy to share that we have a giveaway that will be posted after this tea talk. I originally said 11 a.m., but we might still be live at that point. But after Tea Talks, we will be posting the giveaway, and you will actually have so many opportunities to win, because there's two of us, and then our amazing sponsor, Gotcha Tea. So you actually have 3 places that you'll be able to place your votes, and as well as bonus entries. So you'll be looking for those details. We'll also circle back and mention this at the end of today's video. So just make sure that you head on over to our Instagrams later today and start submitting your votes, and you will have until Friday. The winner will be announced on Friday afternoon, and I will make sure that I'm going to be personally mailing this package out so that it gets to you in time for you to hold on to it and hold on to it for dear life, or for you to gift it to your BFF for Christmas.
Love it. Winners announced Friday. We see a bunch of hearts going up. Betty tuning in from Mesa AZ, sipping on matcha tea from Puka. We love Puka. We actually just got sent a bunch of Puka too, right, Leslie?
Yes, we did.
So excited.
Run out of room. I mean, this is like such an amazing blessing to have. I'm like literally in all these drawers, like stuffing all these boxes of tea everywhere.
I said the other day, you know you're winning in life when you come home to a package of tea that was gifted to you. So we're definitely winning in life, because all these tea companies are just on board with supporting us and having these conscious conversations with you guys, and really bringing some valuable wisdom to you guys from our experiences. And yeah, we're just so excited to continue sharing. I made it, Carlsbad Library. Brittany, we are so happy to see you. Monique, I'm here in Tempe drinking coffee today. Melanie just jumped on. Oh my gosh, we've got the whole tribe. The whole Tea Talk tribe is ready for the giveaway. All right. So, yeah, what Leslie said, I'm like, what are we talking about? Right. Oh yeah, the giveaway.
Woosah.
Let's bring it back. So in the giveaway, we have 3 canisters of tea from Gotcha Tea. We have a journal. We have some incense. We have a crystal. We have a pen for the journal. A what?
A personal teacup.
Oh, and no, you guys, not just a personal teacup. It's a unicorn mug. Come on. Like, I want that.
You forget that.
Can I participate in my own giveaway?
No.
Damn it. All right. Tempe AZ, Jessica, we see you on a bus headed to campus. Had coffee this morning. Amazing. Love it. All right, so let's dive into the Tuesday. Are you ready to dive into the Tuesday tea topic?
I'm 35 minutes ready to dive into tea talks.
All right, let's dive into the tea topic. So we got, lighten your load. We're helping you guys release the baggage, leave it in 2019 so that you can have the most successful and fulfilling year going into 2020. We have been talking about review, yes, reflect, and release. Am I getting it right? And so last week we talked about review. And for those of you, my handwriting's not as good as Leslie's, but for those of you, Leslie shared this practice last week to put your year in review. What has occurred this year? And if you're like me, a high achiever, you can be on to the next thing before you even realize what happened in the last week, let alone the last 6 months, let alone the last year. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I'm always like, what's the next goal I can achieve? And then when you achieve that, there has to be some reflection. And so Leslie and I do that periodically, quarterly, monthly, but then also we spend a lot more time doing the year in review at the end, where we really set it up to where we're like, it's ritualistic. It's not just something we're like coming back to, we're really setting it up so we can reflect. And Leslie gave us this practice last week to put our year in review. And comment below if you guys did this. If you guys put your year in review, drop a comment below. Let us know if you did it and what it did for you, like what it did for you. And what we're going to talk about today is reflecting. So how you transition from reviewing to then reflecting. And for me, I'll say this, like earlier I was sharing with Leslie, like when we're talking about what are we going to talk about today? It's like, man, I was so humbled by this. Every year I'm humbled by this year in review practice, because for me, it's almost like, and this is, like we said, we're full transparency. it's like, I feel like I'm not doing enough. I should be doing more. You know, I see this person and they're killing it, and this person is killing it, and my, you know, my mentors are doing this cool stuff, and then I feel like I'm not doing enough. And then when you look back and on the entire year, it's so humbling because you get to look and say, you know what? I'm actually doing all right. And then you get to set yourself up for the year ahead, and you get to set really aligned goals. What else do you want to share about that, Leslie? I'm looking at these comments. Yay, just in time. I'm prepping for this right now. Reflect. Caitlin just jumped on. I just finished up this morning and it blew my mind when I looked at it all, Sierra.
Yes. So yeah, I'll just add just a little bit. And for those of you, you know, keep the comments coming. Like what are you present to now after doing your year in review? And the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it is, I really want to hear, what did you take away from creating the time, which I want to acknowledge you all, including Candy and myself, for creating the time to do the year in review, because I know it takes a little bit of time. Now, once you're in it, I'm sure everyone can agree. It's like, oh my gosh, like I could do this all day. But to really get into it and create the time in the schedule for an hour or however long it took you really takes something. So I want to acknowledge you. And for those of you that are just jumping on or missed last week, first of all, make sure you head on over to YouTube and go back and watch the #replay. We will always be posting replays within about 24 hours so that you can watch. But I just wanted to speak to a little bit to review, and it is going to be about reflection and why this is even important to begin with. And as Candy just shared, it's so humbling, because one thing I can guarantee, no matter what phase of life anyone watching is in, what I see is we are all high achievers. We all desire to be the best versions of ourselves. We all desire to play big and to have fulfilled and full lives, whether we're business owners or not. I know there's a lot watching that I know for me, way before business, I just had this innate burning desire to be the best version of myself always. Now, of course, I can look back 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and I definitely wasn't what I would consider now the best version of myself. But at that time, I really was being the best person or the best version of myself that I thought I could be. Mm-hmm. And so when we do our year in review, like you guys all did this last week, you're able to really objectively, I mean, the way I look at it is almost in a scientific standpoint of like, I'm literally just collecting data. Mm-hmm. Naturally, what happens is reflection. Mm-hmm. Because then once you're in it, you're like, oh my gosh, Candy and I were just talking about that. I can't believe we like went to First Friday, sat in the car, recorded a 20-minute video and never even walked around. But it's those moments that it's like we can forget about it, but to be able to go back and reflect and really take the whole year in review and look at what was accomplished, look what had to be let go of. But what I was sharing with Candy is, me personally, I also love the little moments. Mm-hmm. The little moments, you know, when you're at a coffee shop with your dear friend that you haven't seen in a while, when you have a lazy movie Sunday all day and you took a picture of all the blankets and forts and pillows. Like, those are the moments that I know when I do my year in review, I'm like, I lived. Like, you know what? I freaking lived.
Comment below, you guys. I am living. I am living. Capitalize living with exclamation points. Comment that below.
And yes, Candy, you shared, you know, the retreats and the how many international retreats and how many events and coaching clients, all of that's so amazing. But if you hadn't done, you know, taken the time, or if all you women hadn't taken the time to do that, once again, what I was sharing is it's all up in our heads, all floating around. And it's like, man, I could have done this. And this month actually wasn't that great. And because then we're just looking at numbers. Or we're looking at accomplishments, or we're looking at outcomes. But when we actually get some of this energy out of our head, drop into our heart and write it out and objectively look at it, just like Candy said, I think we're doing all right. I think mighty fine.
I think I'm doing all right. Yeah, when I was reflecting on this last year, For those of you that haven't been following me for that long, my mom was in the hospital at the beginning of this year. She had lupus when she was younger, and it had been in remission since she was pregnant with me. When she was pregnant with me, it tested negative, and so basically it had been gone for 20. I'm 27 now. It had been gone for 27 years. And it came back last 1 year ago, like literally around this time. She remembers my mom was doing her reflection too. And she was like telling me, I just remember last year being in Walmart with your dad and sitting down on the bench because I was hurting so bad and I couldn't move, like, and I was just like, you do the grocery shopping, I'm gonna wait here. And I just felt awful. And I was looking, and Leslie and I were sharing how cool is it to do this reflection with iPhone pictures, because can you imagine doing this when like iPhones weren't a thing, or like camera phones weren't a thing, and you're just looking at like maybe the photos you took from your camera printed out. I don't know. Am I giving away my age? Anyway, but you're doing this, and I had documented a lot of that hospital stay. We were in there for a while, like a couple weeks. And I had documented a lot of that. And what I was telling Leslie was then I began to reflect on the year, and I just saw a whole lot of perseverance. It wasn't about what I did, but who I was in those moments. And so we'll share a couple things with you in terms of how you can start reflecting and what kind of questions you can be asking yourself right now to really understand the growth that has occurred this year, and what is being like the soil that's being laid for the year ahead for 2020. And so what are some of the questions, Leslie? You've had some good ones.
Yes, I got some good ones. So basically now we're in reflection, and you all saw how naturally, just by picking apart what has happened, what hasn't happened, and looking at your year in review, you naturally got reflective. I didn't even have to tell you, you just naturally got reflective. But this is the distinction. That's why we started with review. Because if we start with reflection, we just can, like we said, it's very heady. Gosh, remember in Bali this summer? And then we just pick the highlight that we can remember at the time. But to actually create the time to do the review, now we have the facts. And then the reflection is natural, especially for us women, the feminine. We're just very reflective and sentimental and nostalgic. We love that. I know I do anyway. So this is our opportunity now. You probably already started asking yourself some questions. And in fact, I think I gave you 1 or 2 questions to ask yourself each month. What did I learn this month about myself? Who did I step into? Who did I become? So now I'm to just read off a couple questions. So go ahead, grab a pen or a note in your phone and write some of these down. And what you're going to be doing this week, once again, creating a time, blocking out time to sit down and do reflection. You already have your review done. For those of you that haven't done your review, it's time to catch up. So you're going to be creating 2 appointments with yourself. For those of you that have the review done, you're going to be creating 1 appointment with yourself, sitting down, getting reconnected to your year in review, and then pulling up a brand new page in your notebook, which you can do right now, and ask yourself some of these questions. You can do it one of 2 ways. You can ask yourself these questions in more of a yearly standpoint. Even if you really want to take it to the next level, start in January and ask yourself these questions in a monthly standpoint, and then a yearly. Or maybe you can choose, okay, I'm not going to ask all these questions, but I'm going to ask a couple per month, because that's what Candy shared with me that was really powerful, is she was able to see the build up. Like we just November, which we thought we're like, that's this year. How is that not last year? But she wasn't even necessarily thinking about Tea Talks in January. Just by her going all the way back to January, she was able to see where she was in January, what she learned about herself, who she became in January, which then led into February naturally. Mm-hmm. And then she was already bigger, she was already better. And then the next month, right? And that's the process of evolution, you guys. That is evolution.
Mm-hmm.
So I always encourage month by month. I know that takes a little bit more time. So let's go ahead and dive into the questions. Just a reminder, like I said, you can do it one of two ways. You can do the whole year, or you can do month by month.
And I'm gonna take these down and write them in the comments below, you guys, as Leslie shares them. I'm gonna be typing away. And real quick, thank you guys for all the comments that you said. I'm living, like, I love it. I love seeing all of you guys do that. And so many people said they did their year in review. And I want to get to some of these just because you guys are incredible. I just finished mine this morning and it blew my mind when I looked at it. I did it. It was extremely insightful and I could finally see for myself the progress I've made. Yes, Jessica, I feel you. Did it. Betty says, Monique, my year in review took almost 3 hours. Yes.
Oh, that's a good one. That's what I call a good one.
Leslie calls that a good one. Yes, a girlfriend, mine too. And I absolutely loved it. It put into perspective just how much I've changed. I realized how much saying yes to new opportunities, new friendships has transformed me. Yes, and the people you're attracting into your life, that was one of mine for sure. Like, especially towards the end of this year, looking at all the people you've attracted into your life and just how they were a reflection of you. Transformation was the theme of my year. Girl, me too. Me too.
Can drop the little, our favorite emoji right about now.
Everybody drop this emoji below. This is Leslie and I's like.
I want her to have this. Like, if I created the emoji, it'd look like this.
I love it. Scotty says, I've been reflecting a lot this last year and this last week, and it showed me how much I've grown, evolved, and who I had to become and unbecome. I love that through the process and everything I've done. A lot of unbecoming in 2019. A lot of you are realizing what is no longer serving you and qualities that were never really you to begin with. Beliefs about yourself that were never really yours to begin with. I love that. Monique, I also realized how many family gatherings I'm fortunate enough to have been a part of. Sometimes I am hard on myself. Yes, girl, saying you don't see your nieces and nephews enough. But after my year in review, I realized we did spend a lot of time together. I also did so many things that brought me joy. I went to 11 concerts in 2019. Woo! Our concert tribe is
concert girl. I love it.
For those of you that don't know, Leslie and I also have another dynamic in our friendship, and it's like concert buddies. So we love it. We love the concerts. So powerful.
Before you read any more, Candy, I wanted to highlight one. I want to say something to every comment, but I know we don't have time for that, but I will chime in. I love that comment specifically because she shared she was being so hard on herself because I didn't see my nephews and my family. But when she actually looked at it, she's like, dang, I've seen my family plenty. Like, actually, I've seen them a lot, and I'm so grateful. Mm-hmm. So this is a huge distinction to make, ladies, in all areas of your life where this is going on. This is not just the end of the year. How often in our lives do we have so much going on in our head, how hard we are, we could be doing more, we should be doing more. And simply by getting it out of our head and on paper, just that alone, you were able to see the truth. And that's what I love.
I love it. Caitlin says, seeing you doing a flow next to your mom's bed was one of the things that drew me to you. All the love for self and mama. Girl, yes. And that's one of the videos I actually was looking at yesterday. I was doing my practice next to my mom's hospital bed because that's where I was staying for days and days at a time. And so, yeah, it was so powerful to look back on that. Yeah, so many. I love all you guys. I wish I could get to all of these, but there's so many. So let's get to these questions. And I'm going to drop them in the comments below so you can copy and paste them to your notepads. You can write these down if you want to, but let's get to these questions so that you guys can start reflecting. And then next week, we're going to talk about releasing. And then to close out the month, we're really going to talk about how to set yourself up for the most successful and fulfilling year yet. So let's do this. Boom.
Boom. I love it. I love it. We'll do our best to circle back to any questions or comments at the end. So let's just start with these two questions. And these two questions are very simple, but also very profound. What were my successes? Just like my straight up wins, because especially growing up as women, we're always told to be humble, to not brag about ourselves, to not be conceited, to not be too confident. Like you want to be confident, but not too confident, whatever that means, by the way. Mm-hmm. And so what were your wins? Like, what were your like, hell yes, my hashtag I'm winning, you know, like what were your successes? What were your challenges? Now you can see why doing this month to month might be a little bit better and more organized than trying to answer that question for a whole year, but feel into it. What were some of your challenges? What lessons did I learn? Now, some of you might have already asked yourself this question in the review, which if you did, that's great. You can always expound on it if you feel like it, or you've already answered it. What lessons did I learn? And this can be life lessons. This can be lessons about yourself. Like I know for me, especially lately, I'm learning so much about myself where I still limit myself, where I still stop myself. Yes, I see where I've grown and I take action in ways I never would have before, but I see where I still totally get in my own way. And so that's something that I'm having to like getting to really look at. Mm-hmm. So what lessons did I learn? Now we're going to move into, and guys, this isn't in any specific order. BTW. What were my last year's, so January 2019, New Year's resolution or goals? So what were they? This is where you really get to pull out the old journals from January. So what were the goals? And then did I achieve them? Yes or no? And why or why not? And or did the vision change altogether? So I know sometimes, almost always, for those of us up to big things like we all are, we have a goal that we set, let's say in January, and then it changes. It's like, not that we don't want it anymore, but the vision has evolved so much that that specific goal isn't even really relevant to where I am now. So that's okay. It doesn't necessarily mean every goal needs to be achieved, but did it change form and take shape as something else? And if so, what was
that? Let me just repeat that real quick. What were my goals, desires last year? Did I achieve them or did they change? And if so, what too?
Yep. And you can always, here there's plenty of room to go as deep as you really want to go. If it's no, I didn't achieve them, let's say. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or maybe I achieved one, but I didn't achieve this one. Why?
Yeah, why? Like what? And it doesn't have to be like in a space where you're like making yourself wrong for it, because I know that can tend to happen. Like, oh dang, I didn't lose weight, or I didn't do this or whatever. Sierra had a good point when she dropped a comment below. My resolutions last year were so generic, I can't even remember them. So I love this practice, and this is why we write this stuff down, you guys, because like you won't remember them. Or some of us just say, Sierra, we talked about this morning. It would be nice if this could happen. Yes. Instead of saying, this is my goal, this is what I'm going to do, this is what that looks like, and this is what it's going to take for me to do that. And I think that's why so many 90% is the percentage that we gave last week. 95% of resolutions fail because we do this thing where it's like, oh, well, it'd be nice if I could host 3 retreats this year. That would be nice, but to what would it actually take to fulfill on that? So I love that. I wanted to bring that up because that's one of the things that this is why we do it. This is exactly why we do this. So I love it. Those are such great questions. I wrote them all down. I have a couple more. I have more. And I love that comment. I'm hearing a little bit of feedback. I don't know if you all can hear that. I just love that because it really shows when we're generic, oh, I want to do this, but
the power in these practices for one, but then also the power in presencing those desires, not just in January. And we will be talking about that more when it comes to goal setting, intention setting, and setting up our year. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves. So we will circle back to that, but I just love that you pointed that out and you were able to see, like, my goals were so generic that, like, I don't even remember. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're in that space, let us know, first of all, and also know that that's probably because you didn't do a year in review and you aren't fully connected to what you really, really wanted. So we'll talk about that. You're just going to have to keep joining us the next week and the next week and the next week. What do I wish I did less of? So powerful that we just did this review, because now you know exactly what you've done and what you haven't done. So what did I wish I did less of? And then also, what did I wish I did more of? So the comment earlier, she thought she wasn't spending time with her family. She was being really hard on herself. But then after doing the year in review, she realized, actually, I don't need to do more of seeing my family. It was a perfect amount, and I'm so grateful for that. So this is a great way to start setting yourself up for 2020, because by these answers, you're going to know, okay, I just said, I want to see less of this. I want to see more of this. So guess what? We have a whole year to do that coming up, a whole decade to do that coming up.
Yeah, love it so
and
much.
And the last one that I will leave you with is, how do I want to feel, or what do I want my reality to be like this time next year? So when who knows where we'll be, maybe Tea Talks, maybe not. But when we're following up with each one of you on your 2020 year in review, how do you want to feel? Like, how do you want to feel in your body? How do you want to show up? What do you want to be in your experience? And I really encourage you to really free write here for a little while. Like, really get connected for a minute and think about that. And let's just actually do that for just a minute. Like, really think about, you've just looked at your whole year in review. You've seen where you could have spent more time, where you could have spent less time. You've seen so much. So if you were to drop in and get connected based on this year and what you've discovered, looking ahead to this moment right now, 1 year from now, how would you want to feel? What would you want your life to feel like, to look like, to be like? This is what we're going to get down to. This is what we're going to get down to. So excited to hear some of your reflection as you ask yourselves these questions. Candy commented all of them below. Thank you for doing that. So feel free to copy and paste them. Or I think some of you also wrote them down in your journal. So that's perfect. I also see exactly 55 comments right now. So thank you. Oh, it just changed right when I said that.
I love it. More of doing things for myself that I actually enjoy, and practicing self-care, less of trying to please others. That's what they want. More stress less, trust more. Yes. And yeah, making statements and goals that create accountability. Yes, I love it. All these things, you guys, and you don't have to feel shame around these things. Like you can, and we'll talk at work. We're going to dive all into releasing next year. But you know, some things that were a part of you before just don't have to be a part of you going forward. And that's just what I love about these practices, is that we get to see, okay, that's, you know, I was still a little timid when I started the year. I was still a little nervous. I still didn't fully believe in my ability to fulfill on these goals and visions. But all right, I'm done with that. I'm done with playing timid, or whatever you want to look at things, like people pleasing. Yeah. I want to feel empowered in my roles, Caitlin says, and I'm taking on. Word for 2020 is embody. That's so funny. Yeah, I love that. I love the word embody.
I just love these head starts like this. We're setting y'all up so well that you don't even need us next week. You guys are already there. Like, I'm loving this. I'm just loving this.
And we just want to say right here, you know, in this moment, Tea Talk family, since there are so many of you on, we just appreciate you guys so much. Leslie and I, you know, we pay attention, you know, to what you guys are experiencing and the things that y'all need from us, and we care. You know, we care, and we try to do our best to bring the absolute like most value possible. We're not just doing this just to do it. We're not just on here just to hang, you know, just to like be live with you guys. Like, we're so committed to bringing the most value possible on these shows, and for you guys to take something, not just take something away, but we're committed to really impacting your life, you know. And so that's exactly why we're here, and we just want to say thank you. Honestly, thank you for your support in Tea Talks, and for tagging us in all your tea hauls, and for also sharing all your testimonials with us. Like, if you do have testimonials, please message me or Leslie too. We've received some of you voice messaging us, whether it's on Instagram or on Facebook or in our messages, sharing just how we want to know, and we want to share that with others. So please, if you guys have testimonials from Tea Talks, you can submit them to either me or Leslie, or to our tuesdayteatalks@gmail.com, which I just reset the password for the
Candy loves our email, if you can't tell. I think she mentions it every episode.
Our Gmail. Email us, guys.
Email back. All right, we're bringing email back.
We're bringing email back. We're bringing email back.
Tired of social media. Email us.
Yeah, that's it. So did you want to say anything else about reflection, Leslie?
I believe that's it. I'm just truly so looking forward. Like, it's becoming the highlights of my week, truly, to receive messages from you, just different tags, anything, any way that you share with us. Someone was messaging me their year in review this morning, and it really lights me up, because for so many reasons, but because you're learning these new practices. And as Candy said, don't be hard on yourself, because the first time I ever did this, I was nowhere near where all y'all are with all these comments and enlightenment and being so connected. I was nowhere near that, okay? So always remember that this is your starting point. And so just imagine a year from now, when all this foundation, all this groundwork has been laid, and you're ready to chill with Candy and I and do your year in review, and it's just like boom, boom, boom. Oh, all right, I know what I want in 2021. I know what I want in 2022. So that's where you're going to be 1 year from now. And this is exactly the tools and practices that really lay that foundation. So I'm just looking forward to hearing reflections and who you've become, because so many of you, I just know you as now, and I only see you as light and love and amazingness. So I want to hear your reflections. Like, where did you see yourself? And then what light do you see yourself in now?
I love it. Amazing. So let's get into this asked and answered, you guys. We don't want to cut this out of the show, just because we know so many of you have benefited from this. Yeah. So asked and answered, and I'm going to read some of these comments that are coming in. You guys are so interactive. I love it. So asked and answered. This part of the show we close out with, just to really, really, really bring it home. We like to, you know, pick one or two of you, or maybe even three, depending on how much time we have, to provide coaching to live. So if you guys don't know, Leslie is a coach for freedom, internal freedom, and I am a leadership and business coach as well. And so what we like to do is bring you guys live coaching experiences to the show. So if you're experiencing something in life right now that you need support in, that you desire support in, this is the place to do it. So drop a comment below. And just, if you have a question for either of us on either this topic, these practices, and or just something you're experiencing life that you're growing through and you need support in, drop a question below. Drop a question below for me or Leslie. You can do one of us or both of us. And we really love this part of the show because we really dive in. So comment below, what questions do you have about doing this? We're so excited for it. But drop that in the comments below. Like, are you growing through something right now? What is that? And how can we support you? We're excited. So drop that in the comments below. And then I'll get to these comments. Let's see.
And while the coming in, I'm going to go ahead. This is a perfect time to also drop the Gotchi link. So their website, go ahead and check them out. And once again, sisters, remember, we don't just support local businesses by the actual exchange of money. That's one way, but there's many, many other ways. So if you don't plan on purchasing tea, totally fine. Please at least go follow, like, share, send some love to Mimsy, the owner of Gotchi Tea. And for those of you that are interested in purchasing this bomb tea, our Tea Talk tribe has our own exclusive discount code. So I'll be putting that for 15% off. Those of you that don't win the giveaway, do not frown, do not fret. There is gifts for everyone. So everyone, including us, so exciting, receives 15% off at checkout. That also includes, they're always running different sales and deals, especially for the holidays, as well as all of their, what I love is all of their sales and deals typically are giving back in some way, which I love. So at checkout, Tea Talks, I'm putting all of that in the comments now. So that is our exclusive code. I'm super excited about that.
15% off tea, whoop whoop.
Yeah.
And we're doing that giveaway. So jump over to our Instagrams after Tea Talks and make sure you participate in the giveaway. We're going to post it right after Tea Talks. So make sure you do that. The winner will be announced on Friday. And yeah, I just want to get to some of these comments. Love you both so much, and you're so appreciated. Thank you, Sierra. These Tea Talks absolutely have had a huge positive influence on my life. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, Monique. Thank you for all the nuggets of light. Thank you, Caitlin. Jessica, I'm so grateful to have been led to your talks. Thank you both so much. Thank you for being here. All right, asked and answered. Asked and answered. Or we do transition music?
Candy's the one that's like really good about just moving through it. You're like, I need a tissue. Can we have a minute? I'm about to cry.
I'm like, Leslie, let's move on. No, we got this. We really appreciate your guys' comments. Like, thank you from, I know I kind of like try to breeze because I want to get to all of them. I'm like, wait, let me get to all these.
Funny.
But we appreciate you guys so much, and we just love being here for you, and we love seeing all of you in the comments being so interactive. Like, I think this is the most interactive tribe that I've ever had on a Facebook Live. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this. So, asked and answered. Do we have transition music? Leslie, cue the transition music.
Boom, boom, boom.
All right. From Jessica, she asks, for either of you, what's the best advice you have for not being afraid to let go of anger and resentment when beginning to slip into that state of mind? So letting go of anger or resentment, for not being afraid to let go of anger and resentment.
Such a great question. What I'll first, the first thing that comes to me is anytime there's fear present, or can you repeat it one more time?
Yeah. What's the best advice you have for not being afraid to let go of anger and resentment when beginning to slip into that state of mind?
Okay, that's the word, anger. So anytime there's anger or even resentment, but let's talk about anger. Anytime there's anger present, there's typically fear present too. But it shows up, the sensations, how it shows up in our physical experiences, we're just pissed off and so angry. Mm-hmm. If you were to sit with yourself, I would bet, and if we were to do some deeper work together, I would bet that there are some fears there. And maybe you're aware of that or not. If you are, let me know so I can kind of understand where you're at.
She said, like, what's the best advice for not being afraid of
letting go
letting go of anger, resentment?
Okay, so I love that question, and that does change it a little bit. What I was sharing, anytime there is anger present, fear there, and that's definitely all in our lower triangle, the lower energetic. And when I say lower, I don't mean less than, but just the lower triangle in the foundational energetic pieces of our being, where trust, where home, where foundation, where just like that basic innate primal love, all of our foundational pieces are found there. And I'm going to blanket almost every American has imbalances in the lower triangle area, which is why we see so much ego and why we see so much fear and hatred and anger and all the things that we don't want to see anymore. There's a lot of imbalances there. And so to bring it to the second part of your question, oftentimes it's in our awareness. We've grown, we've done the work, we now are aware that what we're experiencing is anger and at the root, probably fear, but yet we're not willing to let it go. And why is that? Like, why would we want to hold on to anger and fear and all these lower vibrational expressions that we really aren't committed to? There's something, I would bet that there's you're getting somewhere meaning by you staying attached. And I can only speak this because this was one of my MOs for sure. I would be so angry. I would just be like so angry. And then at a point where I'm like, I know, like I can tap in and I can get honest with myself and know that I'm just really scared. Maybe I'm in a transition. I don't know where I'm going to live or whatever it is. And I'm experiencing fear, and it ends up showing up as anger towards my partner. And so how is it that we consciously know that, but yet we're still allowing it to happen? We're getting some kind of benefit by staying angry. We're getting some type of benefit by lashing out, whatever that is. So I want to leave you there with that. And then if there's any other questions you that to go deeper, I'd love that. But I'd love for you to discover, like, what are you getting out of staying angry? What would it mean for you to let go, like to actually be free from that anger, from that resentment?
Yeah. And Jessica, for me, you know, in my childhood, I grew up with like a lot of bullying from both my family and in school and whatnot. So I had built up all these walls, of protection for myself. And whenever I would want to hold on to anger or resentment, well, first of all, you have to get really honest that whenever you're holding on to anger or resentment towards somebody or something or a situation or whatever, first of all, you're giving your power to that situation, person, place, or thing. And wherever there's resentment, there's no forgiveness. And whenever there's no forgiveness, you're the only one that's suffering. That person, place, or thing has moved on, and so holding on to that anger, resentment is only affecting you. I think it was like Buddha, I don't know, like a Buddha quote that said like holding on to anger is like holding on to a piece of hot coal, or holding on to resentment. I heard this one too, is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. Like, it's like you're the only one that's being affected by that. And so give yourself your responsibility back and look within yourself and say, okay, why am I holding on to this? And then for me, it was around the protection piece. Like that anger or resentment was my leverage and my excuse to be the way I wanted to be, to show up the way I wanted to show up and not have to look within myself and grow. So I hope that helps you. And I hope that kind of like, what's up?
That was the payoff for you. So that's perfect. That brought it full circle with you adding that in, Candy, is that the payoff you were getting by holding on to the anger. You honestly felt in control. You felt safe, had your walls. You were kind of the one running the show when you were holding on to the anger. If you were to completely let go and allow and surrender, that could be vulnerable. That could be scary. So it seems a lot safer to hold on to the anger. But I love that. But you're just holding on to that hot coal, and it's really going to burn your hand. I'm a burner. Let's not do that.
It was a protection, and I like you kind of went into it there, Leslie. It was a protection for me, and whenever when we're attached to that protection, there is no vulnerability, like Leslie said. And when there's no vulnerability, there is no love, there is no connection, there is no like, and you can have some love, but there's no real love and connection there. Like you are blocked from connecting with that person, place, or thing. And you're the only one suffering. So I think that's the biggest thing, is to understand like first of all, I'm the only one that's having a hard time from this. And then the second is just looking within yourself and seeing that growth. Caitlin says, one of my favorite takeaways from your fear workshop, Leslie, was the question, what do you stand to gain if you give yourself permission to let go of it? Yeah. What could be possible if you gave yourself permission to let go of that? That's a good perspective to kind of take, okay, well, what would happen?
What could you gain in your life if you didn't have the fear and the resentment? And Candy said it beautifully, love, connection. And once again, going back to the lower triangle, the seat of fear, our root chakra, if fear is present, it's going to show up as anger. And then also what's not present is love. Period. So I know you want love, and I know that you're on love. I know you're on your way to go take a final. I'm commenting right now, break a leg. In theater, we say break a leg, not good luck. So good luck on break a leg on your final, and you'll be able to watch the answers after your final, and let us know if you have any more questions, and we'd be happy to dive deeper.
Love it.
Love it.
All right, you guys. So that is like what we'll close it out right there. I'm so grateful to have all of you guys. I'm gonna pull on the closing music, closing music. But look out for the replay on YouTube. And make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube, because we can't do anything on YouTube if you guys aren't subscribed. Like, also, not only do we not, like when I say we can't do anything, like it won't get to you if you're not subscribed. Basically, if you're subscribed, like I'm subscribed, I get a notification every time we post a video up, like, oh, the Tea Talks replay is up. And so you want to get that into your notifications on your phone. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel, email us at tuesdayteatalks@gmail.com. And then what else? Oh, we have the giveaway on Instagram live after this. And then the Gotchi Tea link is below with the code Tuesday. Is it Tuesday Tea Talks?
It's Tea Talks, all caps, for 15% off. Go ahead and look in the comments. I'm also gonna comment it one more time for your convenience. gotchitea.com. Go ahead and check them out. They're also, you're gonna have to follow them if you want to enter the raffle, the giveaway anyways, so you'll be able to get to know the brand and support the brand on social that way.
And share their stuff, you guys, because we're cool like that. And that's what the Tea Talks tribe does. It shares really cool women-owned businesses, like to your stories. So make sure and their pictures are cool too. They're not just like random, like they're really cool, and they have some really cool stuff on there. So I'm super excited.
Cool.
Trying to get this tea.
I just commented that below. It was so amazing to spend our Tuesday morning together. Thank you for being patient. I cannot wait to see your reflections. And cheers to my Tea Talks guys.
Cheers, Tuesday Tea Talks fam. We love you. Bye.